Neptune's Harvest. How are you doing today?
Great. How are you?
Doing all right. It's another, 108-degree day.
I don't know how you do it. It's crazy.
I don't either. I need to go somewhere cold.
Right?
But
Come visit us in Massachusetts. It's pretty nice here.
yeah, your winters are quite different from our California winters, though. That would take some acclimation.
Yeah. You make a good point.
Yeah, because I don't know. I don't know if it's like I went to Michigan once in a winter, and they had the lake effect, which just kind of like when the wind blows, it just goes. It doesn't matter how many layers you have; it just goes through your clothes, and it's just freezing. I don't know if you have a ocean effect.
Yeah, that actually in the summer the ocean keeps you cooler, and in the winter it keeps you warmer because the water temperature's warmer than the air temperature. So it actually, gives you a nice effect. Sometimes you get a dumping of snow if it's coming in off the water, but
Oh yeah, it's like kind of the opposite of the Great Lakes, because the Great Lakes freeze, and the ocean probably doesn't freeze with all the salt in it.
right.
But yeah, I wanted to play the video first, kind of tell people about the company, because it's kind of got a real good what do you call that? Like the American dream, kind of. It's like a family-oriented company that started a long time ago, and it's over the time kind of transitioned into different areas. From you kind of explain it on the video here, but I'll go ahead and play this. Hopefully, it doesn't skip. It was playing earlier when I tried in the pre-show. So let's see.
Hello, gardeners. It's Ann Malloy here from Neptune's Harvest Organic Fertilizer in Gloucester, Mass. Today I want to give you a brief history of how we got started in the fertilizer business. It all started with my grandfather, who was a fisherman, and he bought the property where we're still located at today in the Fort neighborhood of Gloucester. Gloucester, Massachusetts is the oldest seaport in America, and we have a 400-year-old rich history in the fishing business. So my grandfather bought the property in the late 1920s during the Depression. He called it Progressive Fish Company because the banker told him he was very progressive buying a fish company in the middle of the Depression. He owned and operated it for several years, and then he decided he was also going to start selling fuel oil to the fishing boats. Well, in 1965, my father, Anthony Parco, had a fish business, and the city of Gloucester took that property by eminent domain to put the Coast Guard station there. He spoke to my grandfather, which was his father-in-law, and said, "I need to move. Do you have any suggestions of a fish wharf I could buy?" My grandfather said, "Well, I'm making more money selling fuel oil to the fishing boats than I am fish these days, so I'd like to go into the home heating business." So in 1965, my dad, Anthony Parco, along with his brother-in-law, Ed McCullum, purchased my grandfather, Leo Linquarter's wharf, which was Progressive Fish Company, and changed the name to Ocean Crest Seafoods. It is still owned and operated by the Parco and McCullum families and run as a seafood company to this day. So, we unload the fishing boats, we fillet the fish, and we utilize 100% of the fish now by turning the rest into fertilizer. That's how we inadvertently ended up in the fertilizer business. Lucky for us, fish works great for plants and soil. And the reason it works so well is because fish naturally contains all the nutrients plants and soil need. So we've done nothing but grow and expand over the years. How it works is the fillet goes to the restaurants. The 60 to 70% left over, called gurry, is what we take, grind it up, liquefy it, stabilize it so it won't rot, and then screen it so it won't clog sprayers. And it comes out looking like chocolate milk. So that's how we got started, that's how we make it. And out of 45 employees, 16 are family. We have 5 in our family, plus cousins that are all owners, plus nieces, nephews, and now grandchildren all working here. We take pride in what we do, and we really work hard to bring you quality products that work great on everything. We have a rich family heritage, and we really want to continue for generations to come. Thank you for listening. Please try our products, and as always, call us anytime with any questions that you may have.
All right. Yeah, I like that video. So, is he still selling fuel? Are you guys still selling fuel, or is that done?
No, he passed away quite a while ago. He lived till 96, and then he sold out to another local company that took it. So that's not in the family anymore, that part of it.
So it's Ocean Crest Seafood does the seafood side.
Yep, that's.
And then the waste is the Neptune side.
Correct. So yeah, the seafood part of the business is definitely still running. We unload boats. We sell, whole fish, fillets, shellfish. So yeah, that's still a big part of the business, along with the fertilizer division.
Interesting. Yeah. Have you guys thought about using like the actual, like, grinding out the shells for like calcium or?
Yeah, hang on a second. Yeah, we do.
Oh, it's actually in there.
Right here. Okay. So we definitely have that. It's great. It's a 530 NPK, plus it's got great calcium, magnesium, and it's high in chitin, so it has a lot of insecticidal properties. The big chunks break down slowly, and the small ones quickly over, so they're more readily available. I don't know if you can see that, but it makes.
Actually got a bag of that, and it's made that room smell like the Atlantic Ocean.
You start craving seafood all of a sudden.
Yeah. I was like,
plants love it.
Oh, they definitely love it. Saw new green growth with, just a couple of days, like explosive new green growth.
And if you mix it in any potting mix or soil before you plant, the roots will reach for those shell chunks as a food source and wrap around them, and it'll drive your roots really deep. And the deeper the roots, stronger the plant, higher the yield.
Yeah, I used to always say, more roots, more fruit.
Yep.
Which is a good thing. But yeah, so you guys started out originally with the fish and seaweed product? The blue. We
started with the straight fish, then we went into seaweed. So we have the straight fish, we have the straight liquid seaweed plant food, then we have a fish seaweed blend, then we did the crab and lobster shell, dry kilt meal, which is this right here.
Yeah.
And then this is a 102, so it's great mixed in with the crab shell. Because if you do both together, you've got like you've got a 5, 3, or 6, 3, 6, 3, 2 NPK if you mix them together. And the kelp doubles in size when it gets wet, kind of beads up like a polymer. So it retains moisture in the soil, which is really nice, full of trace minerals. So you've got your CalMag, your chitin, your NPK, plus all your trace minerals. Yeah. They're naturally in heaven. They go really well together, mixed in any soil before planting.
Yeah, that'd be great for 6-3. That'd be great for veg, for a veg cycle. Probably wouldn't need much more, because it's all there.
Yeah. I mean, if you have an outdoor grow and it rains a lot and you don't want to be foliar feeding or liquid feeding, you've got all that nutrients in the soil to keep things going.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. The other products that came out, it's a tomato and rose.
Yeah, so we have so this is our tomato and sorry, I'm doing everything backwards. Tomato and veg, and our rose and flowering.
Yeah, so I had a question actually on those, because when I was looking at the bottles, the blue bottle says organic on it, and the green bottle says organic on it, but the two that you just held up don't say organic on it. Is that something that's like pending that you're trying to get, or is there a product in there that prevents it from being organic?
Now, we have 9 products registered organic right now, and it's really expensive. We pay Omri a ton of money The tomato and veg and rose and flowering have fish, seaweed, molasses, humate, liquid calcium, and yucca extract. Everything is approved organic that goes in here. It's just a lot of ingredients.
I see. It's just
And it's very expensive, and it's just that's really the only reason. They're definitely organic. If you're certified organic and you want to use them, all you have to do is have you certify or contact us. We'll tell them everything, and they'll approve it. They always do.
Yeah, no, I thought it was probably something. I figured it was probably something like that because I was looking at the ingredients. I was like, wait, these ingredients are in some of these other products you make, and they're labeled organic. So
yeah. And the lawn starter and the turf formula, same thing. All the same ingredients, just in varying amounts.
You guys had another product that I had not. I saw it in the on the website. It was like you attach a hose to it, and it's a foliar spray.
So all our products are foliar sprays. We have a humate now. Let me grab that for you. This is our brand new, newest thing that we have here. If you see it.
Liquid humate's 12%.
Yeah, it's humic acid. It's like taking the very best of a compost pile and putting it into a liquid concentrate. So it's really great product for soil, any poor soil. It really helps. We've been selling it in bulk to farmers for years, and we just started bottling it. Mostly the cannabis growers just knew what it was. A lot of growers didn't know what it was, but the cannabis growers absolutely did and wanted it. So we started bottling it in retail sizes. It's just it's a great carbon source. It's really good for the soil. Helps with stress.
Yeah, all about carbon. But it's humics and fulvic acids are definitely pretty well used in cannabis production. There's some people that say that California that doesn't want to really recognize fulvic acids as a fertilizer, but California is a really strange animal when it comes to fertilizers. A lot of labels. There's a lot of companies that have to have special labels just for the state of California.
Tell me about it.
Yeah,
they're the hottest state to get anything registered in.
Yeah, and then they do have like the CDFA, which is another like pretty good thing. In the cannabis industry, several years ago, I want to say it was around 2017. The state of Oregon, they have some pretty strict standards, and they went and tested a ton of companies' products, and it was really surprising that some really big names that had some really big claims on their labels didn't actually have the amount of microbes or the amount of content that they said. Like, they're looking for, if you say you have this many microbes, or, you should have somewhere close to that,
Yeah,
it was really eye-opening. And then I happened to be working like in the industry at that time, and we had to like pretty much get rid of everything we were using, switch, right? Which is like expensive for a big company, right? When you work for a big company, and they're doing 1,000 gallons or more a day in fertilizer feed, gets pricey. But yeah,
and they'll come in and inspect periodically too.
But what came of that though is that the OMRI is sort of an honor boy system where you pay them so much money, and they only actually test like a very small percentage of the products that are actually have that certification on it. And so a lot of cannabis people have kind of laugh at that certification, to be honest, which is kind of unfortunate. I mean, it has a good intent, but the fact that they don't test 100% of the products that they certify is a problem. That's where like the CDFA
they do periodically spot check you, so we've been spot checked for sure.
Oh yeah, and they definitely do. And I'm hoping that they'll do a better job. But like the one that like people really like and trust is like the Oregon TILF, which is extremely long process and expensive and stringent.
Yeah, the humate we sell has been approved by Oregon TILF.
Yeah, but but yeah, there's it I'd rather it be organic. I mean, even though MRI, I'd rather see that than nothing. Like that's at least says that a company is trying.
Yeah.
And not all companies are dishonest. It's like there's a lot of them that they're really doing good stuff, and I think you guys are doing amazing stuff. Like
Thank you.
I've been looking at your product for 7-8 years now, and always kind of wondering. One of my questions was like, how would you use it like in a production scale? And you sent me that feeding schedule. We'll look at that a little bit later, but like the hydro side of that is real important. There's a big two sides of this thing with the hydro, where some people like they just want to use nitrates, like they're sold on monopotassium phosphate and different stuff that's just synthetic fertilizers, powdered base, and that's kind of all that stuff's doing is just polluting the water table, polluting everything, putting chemicals in your body. I don't believe that it's real sustainable for the planet or people. So that's why I like the organic side. But with the organic side, you have people they grow in hydro. Like they'll say you can't run organics in hydro. It'll become really smelly, and it'll get rotten, and it'll clog up lines. And I don't necessarily think that's completely true. If you
just have to do it right.
Yeah, you just got to do it right, and then not all organic products are the same. Like you guys, you guys run them through the screen, right, to filter off stuff, right? And that's probably a big part of why it doesn't sludge stuff up. And then yours is what? It's a cold pressed.
Yes, we don't use any temperature. It just goes through like a big auger looking thing, comes out looking like hamburger. Then it goes in these hydrolyzing tanks, and the natural enzymes in the fish break it down into a liquid. That's what hydrolyzing means. So it's just really high-powered pumps that whip it around, and within 24 hours, it's completely liquefied. And then we stabilize it with just enough phosphoric acid to bring the pH down to 3.5. So it has an indefinite shelf life until you add water, which brings the pH back up. But it's still a low pH fertilizer. You'll never need pH down products when you're using our products or anything that fish in it.
So
we speed it through 100 micron. What?
100 micron. Yeah, that's pretty fine.
Micron screen. It looks like cloth. It's so fine, and that takes out any of the bigger bone particles that didn't hydrolyze in the in the hydrolyzing process. Because we sell it to big farms too in 55-gallon drums, 275-gallon bulk totes, and we have a 5,000-gallon tanker truck that goes all over the country. And as long as you have a tank to pump it into when we get there, we'll pump it right into your tank for you. And so we do sell to huge farms, and we do sell to big cannabis growers, commercial growers, also hemp growers.
Yeah, you guys are recreational cannabis now in Massachusetts?
Yep. Yep, medical and recreational.
So so you probably have some local farmers in your state that are using your product, or?
Yeah, all over. We sell to growers in the state, and New York, and Utah, Colorado, down south, like a lot of people. Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be some more people. Hopefully you get some people out here from out west. We need more organic cannabis in the West. We have a lot of nitrate stuff, on the shelves.
We sell to a lot of home growers and smaller scale growers out there, but not the real big ones so much.
So as far as using the product, so for like a veg cycle, like when people are starting, let's just say starting seeds, they're popping their seeds. Like, would they use? Would you recommend? Yeah,
this is the fish and seaweed. It's nice and mild. It's really good. It's a 2-3-1. It's really good for seed soaking. So you just soak them for like 3 hours till they start to swell. And it's 1 teaspoon per cup of water. And you just soak your seeds for like I said, about 3 hours. It's going to be ideal for seed germination, you'll be amazed. You'll get 100% germination. They're gonna really get off to a great start. Plants fertilized later in life will never catch up to ones that were fertilized right from soaking seed. And I use this until the true primary leaves are out. Once they're about 4 or 5 inches tall and you've got your first true leaves, then you can start going with your tomato and veg, and then you veg
Oh,
it
so
until it's ready to. And we alternate too. Like you can feed every 3 days. You can go this and this every 3 days, and then the liquid seaweed is a great foliar early in the morning. Really helps prevent stress. You can use that almost any time. It'll never be too much, as long as you're diluting it 1 ounce per gallon. And then you go to your flowering formulation when the buds start and do that. You can alternate the flowering with the fish and seaweed, and it's just amazing what you can do. Like even if you don't know what you're doing, we're gonna make you look good.
The orange bottle, is that the lobster and crab?
And then we have the liquid. Yeah, this is the so now we've taken the crab and lobster shell and micronized it so fine it'll stay in suspension in a liquid. This is great for cloning, really good. You just dip the roots in for you just dip it for I don't know, 5 seconds or something. Coat
Yeah.
it, and then you can transplant with it. Yeah, really great for cloning. Really great for when you need extra CalMag. And it helps with the insect damage too because of the chitin that's in it. So
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
great. I use
Yeah,
it a lot. I throw it in. I'll mix it in with this. It's
that's a good
very
thing.
hard to overuse our products. A lot of growers feed every 3 days, and it's not a problem at all. You can definitely max it out.
Yeah, the chitin's important. Insects typically don't want to bite into something that's nasty.
Yeah, and a lot of insects are chitin based in structure. So if you get the chitin eating bacteria in the soil, then it's a natural passive way to help with a lot of the chitin based insects.
So I wonder if that would work for gnats.
Fungus gnats, yep,
Fungus
it does.
gnats.
Yep, people love it. I've
That's
had a lot
awesome.
of testimonials, people raving about it.
That's great. What's that product that's on the second shelf? It's kind of a bluish looking color.
This
Yeah,
one?
that one.
This
What
is
is that?
garlic. It's called mosquito barrier. We don't make this, but we sell it because it's great for. It'll repel all insects. It'll also repel bees, so you got to be careful with that if it's a plant that needs pollination. But
Yeah.
garlic repels just about all insects. So.
Oh, really? So it's like a total. Would that be considered like an herbicide or a fungicide or
More of a pesticide, really.
pesticide?
But organic. It's on
But
listed
organic.
also. It's a certified
That's really
organic.
cool.
They have the garlic barrier too. It's actually made in California. You can get this anywhere, but we offer it because people are always coming in here looking for insect repellents too. But the fish and the seaweed builds the sugar in the plant, so you won't have as much insect damage when you have a plant full of sugar because they can't digest sugar. So
It raises the bricks count, huh?
yeah, it will. If you have a refractometer and a garlic press, do it. Do the test. You'll plant with them without. You'll be shocked how high the bricks are. It helps with flavor and aroma of your smoke
Absolutely.
too. If you're
Yeah,
growing
absolutely.
food, it definitely increases the relative feed value, total digestible nutrients, and makes really nutrient dense food. And because the high bricks is sugar, it's going to taste better too. We sell to a lot of farmers that are like, I've never had peanuts that taste this good or strawberries that taste this good, blueberries, and that translates to cannabis too, right?
Definitely, yeah. There's a lot of people that they don't even understand the bricks thing, and I think that's part of the synthetic farming, right? Like it doesn't taste good most of the time, right?
Yeah,
it's like
and
even if you
plant.
Yeah, you're a weaker plant, but even if you just take something as simple as like a peach, it's growing organic and one growing with synthetics. even not, it's not just the flavor, it's also the nutrient content and the vitamins and that are in the peach and the organic ones. It's just higher. You know, it's like it's a better product overall.
Amazing. We did a basil test one year. We did basil with the 20-20-20, which is, you know, Peter's or Miracle-Gro, right? 20-20-20. That's all you're getting. You're not getting all your micronutrients, trace elements, amino acids, vitamins, enzymes, omega oils, all this other stuff that's going into it. But the 20-20-20 grew faster. But then the fish and seaweed one caught up to it. And then the 20-20-21 had a really weak stem. It didn't hold the yield. Ours grew out huge, and the aroma and the flavor were night and day. The 20-20-20 hardly had any. It was like straw almost. It just didn't have nearly the flavor and the aroma that the one we did. And that one had insect damage. Ours had no insect damage. We didn't even do the test. It was done by a local greenhouse years ago. But yeah, it was amazing, the difference.
Yeah, the pest pressures definitely affect things too. And you know, like you said, it probably didn't have a lot of chitin in it, so the bugs attacked it.
Yeah. You know? Yeah, nature's way of survival of the fittest. A strong, healthy plant won't get eaten as much as a weaker plant. So the insects take care of the weaker, dying plants and unhealthy plants. Like I said, nature's way of survival of the fittest.
And then it's like, I've seen some of these pictures, I'll show them, people growing these pumpkins that are like, they take up a whole back of a truck, like the whole, let me find one of those right now. Let's show one of those, because that's amazing. Like that's, you know.
Yeah, there was a guy
if you're doing stuff like this.
There's a guy in Minnesota last year, grew one that was 2,560 pounds, the biggest ever grown in North America, and he used our stuff.
like wow. Well, those pumpkins, are they primarily like using just the blue bottle when they grow the pumpkins, or are they using the whole line?
A lot of them. They use a lot of humate. They use a lot of fish and seaweed. That's it. They do use a lot of crab and kelp in the soil before planting. And then they do a lot of foliar feeding, and those leaves are huge, right? So you spray those leaves. They have so much surface. The fish and the seaweed is systemic, which means it'll go in through the leaf, down the stem, and into the roots. So you get more bang for your buck. All that nutrition is going straight into the plant. So really good foliar feed. Early in the morning, that's really important.
Oh, definitely, yeah. You don't want to, too late in the day, you probably might burn your plants, maybe.
Yeah, even water could burn in the heat of the day, but the pores on the leaves are open in the morning to accept the morning dew, and then they close to retain moisture. They open again at night, but then you're putting your plants to bed wet at night is never a good idea. Then you get other fungus disease, whatever. So
no, never good to feed at night. People don't eat at night. You don't eat when you're sleeping. Why do you think your plant would? You know,
right?
That's what I always said.
That's great. I might use that.
But yeah, I wanted to show some of these cannabis pictures that people have done. This looks like a greenhouse, early in bloom, but it's thriving to the roof. You know, it's doing really well. So you have another one here. It looks like somebody did an outdoor plant.
Yeah.
Really pretty colors. And then you got, this is huge. This one I like. Yeah. This one I don't know where this was at, but this
that's Vermont. That's a hemp farm in Vermont.
Yeah, they're killing it, and they're using it. You're using your products outside too, which means what you think they're foliar spraying or what?
Yeah. Yeah, there's another picture. I don't know if you have it, but that same guy sent me a picture and showed the sprayer with it.
I have this picture. I think that's the last cannabis picture I have. I'll show these products here so people can kind of see. So the one that I was most familiar with, at least for years and years, the only one I ever saw was the fish and seaweed fertilizer.
Yeah, that's our best seller. That's our number one seller.
cannabis. Well, I shouldn't say cannabis. I should say hydroponic stores. At least here in California, I don't know about elsewhere, have been. Well, there used to be a lot of mom and pop ones. Little small ran businesses, and over the past 5 years, they've been gobbled up by a large corporation. There's just a single corporation. It's pretty much bought almost everything in California. So now we have there's basically 3 large corporations that run all the hydro stores. And the problem is that they're not buying directly from fertilizer companies. They're buying from Sunlight Supply, which is Hawthorne. They're buying from Hawthorne, and they're buying from Hydro Farm, and maybe Spare Time Supply. It's like the 3 suppliers. And if those 3 suppliers don't carry it, good luck. I've gone down to the hydro store and said, hey, I use a lot of microbe products, and I've tried to go get them, and they're like, oh, they won't even let me send. They won't even let me send a sample to the hydro store anymore. They're like, oh, we don't sell that, so what? We're not, It's really, really not good.
Yeah.
So I put the thing at the bottom here, this little scrolling thing. So if people want to get the product direct, I recommend them, go to neptuneharvest.com or call that 800 number and get it direct. If you can't find it in your local store.
And we do sell through garden centers.
Do you guys have distribution? Go ahead. I was cutting you off there.
I was just going to say, we sell through a lot of garden centers too.
But not like Home Depot.
No, more
right?
mom and pop garden centers. And we do sell through some hydro stores still too that we want to buy direct. But I would call around your local places and see if they have it. And if they don't, we have free shipping on our website anywhere in the country.
Yeah, that's what I was seeing. And also, you're probably going to get the freshest product if you order it directly from you versus maybe a store might have had it on the shelf for 3 years.
Yeah, it's got an indefinite shelf life though, so there should be nothing wrong with it. Even if it's 10 years old, there should be nothing wrong with it.
Oh, that's good to know. So it really doesn't degrade.
It's continued. The enzymes, because we have a cold process, the enzymes in the fish are still alive, and the enzymes are still breaking it down. So the older it gets, the thinner it gets, but it's still the same nutrients in there. Because as long as no water gets in there, that pH is 3.5, which is going to keep it stable.
And then when it hits water, is it raised about 6, 6.5, 7?
Depends on your water, but it's still low. It's more like somewhere in the 4s up to 5, maybe 5.2. It doesn't really reach 6 unless you put a lot of water. It's a low pH, but that doesn't seem to hurt the plants any. They still thrive on a low pH fertilizer.
Have you noticed any difference between water qualities, well water versus RO water or tap water?
Yeah, I mean, different waters have different pHs, so that's going to affect how high your pH goes. Here in California, our water is not great. It's typically my water is 298 ppms right out of the faucet, and so I use it. I just I run it through a dechlorinator because I don't want the chlorine. Yeah.
I don't know if there's a way to really get rid of the chloramine, but the fluoride and the chlorine are just real bad.
Same with our water here. It's frustrating.
Yeah.
I wish they'd stop putting fluoride in, honestly.
Yeah, I wish they would stop that. That's they claim it's to help our teeth, but it's a neurotoxin. It's not. It shouldn't be there.
Right.
There's probably other ways. There's probably other ways to fortify your teeth. Brush your teeth.
Toothpaste.
Toothpaste. Yeah. But yeah. And then there's always this argument with the RO water because the RO water it's inert, doesn't have anything in it, right? So you've stripped all the calcium out, you stripped any magnesium out. So we wind up, hydroponic growers wind up having to add CalMag, right? So that they have something for the nutrients to bond to. Otherwise, they're just floating in suspension, and they're not as available. So the RO water, and also RO water is extremely wasteful. Like there's a lot of waste when you generate it. There's a lot of wastewater that gets thrown away, and it's not good either.
Yeah.
But well water is
I
probably
use what
still
comes out of my
probably
hose,
best.
and all my plants
We don't all
thrive.
have wells.
So.
Oh yeah, I haven't had any problems. It all works. It's just there's with the cannabis. There's some people that just try to like finite tweak it to the most possible. I don't know. Maybe it's a lot of times just in people's heads, but they try to tweak things to make it the best.
Yeah.
And I think some of that has to do with water quality. Because it's strange. It's like you can have the exact same setup. Two different cities. They don't have to be two different states, just two different cities, right?
Right.
Because the cities have different water quality, and you have the same lights, the same genetics, the same clones, same fertilizer, but the stuff will come out a little bit different. And the only thing that's really different is the water quality. So I've always try to always get the best water. But yeah, let's go over some of this other pictures here. Let's see, you guys do events, it looks like, right? Have you guys gone to any like CannaCon or any of the cannabis events yet, or are they more? Yeah,
we do the NCAN, like Portland, Maine, and Boston, and we've done several out in Colorado. We used to do the maximum yield shows all the time. We've kind of cut it down now to just so many because they're so expensive.
Yeah, they definitely.
You got to hire I call them the mafia. I probably shouldn't say that, but that's what I call them. All those decorating companies that you got to pay like, $300 for a table for a day and a half or whatever, $500 for a carpet. And it's so expensive. We don't do as many as we used to. We try to stick to the local ones now. We've got a good reputation and our names out there, and the kind of money that you spend to do a trade show, you could do ads for a year in 10 magazines. But we do try to keep going like in the Boston one, I'll try to go every other year and just to talk to people in person still. We hand out thousands of samples at the shows, and that's always good because once people try it, they're customers for life if they do the test.
Yeah, I do. I've tried to go to some also, but yeah, it's very expensive, especially if they have the word cannabis attached to them. They like to upcharge a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've given out like I do. I breed. I make seeds, make strains and seeds and stuff, and I've get the same kind of thing. Like I try to go to shows and give out as much as possible because, word of mouth advertising is also extremely powerful versus, publications are good and everything, but people really like to hear feedback from somebody that's actually used the thing and knows how to use it.
Yeah, I do enjoy it. Once I'm there, I love talking to everybody. That's the fun part. And people used to come up and not even know who we were. Now they come up and they're like, "Oh, I love you guys."
Yeah. So this, yeah. So that's a stand right behind you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's that might have been a show we did in San Francisco. I want to say, I think it was a maximum yield show. I used to be on the expert panels every once in a while at those maximum yield shows. That was fun.
Yeah, maximum yield used to be amazing. It was like, how do you describe it? You just like get your bag and you go around every booth. There was all these free samples. You meet all these people. You see the new products you never seen before. Talk to people, and I don't know. It was really, really cool.
It was overwhelming.
Haven't been to one in many years.
Yeah, it was back in the day when everybody was growing tomatoes.
Yeah, like 2013.
Yeah, we've come a long way.
Yeah. That was the same thing in the hydro stores. You couldn't say it had to be tomatoes, and if you said the wrong word, they'd kick you out.
Yeah, crazy, huh?
It's just like with the glass shops. You couldn't say bong; you had to say water pipe.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I was born in 1965, so it was a whole different generation. We were made to feel like criminals, right?
Yeah.
I'm happy, very happy for what
Is
has
this
happened.
the is the where they actually make the product right
Yeah,
here?
that's our warehouse. That's where I'm sitting right now. Is to the right there is the offices. Yep.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yeah,
So
that's our
they
seafood truck.
are they so everything's already in bottles where you're at? It's
No,
already
so what we do is we have the seafood company where we actually make the fertilizer, and then we have our 5,000 gallon tanker truck where we have huge tanks there too. We have four 30,000 gallon tanks there where we store the fertilizer, so we
Mhm.
can you know, stockpile all winter and have plenty for the spring. And then we have several holding tanks. We have a bunch of 2,500 gallon holding tanks, a 10,000 gallon holding tank. So then we pump it from the other building, which is about 3 miles from here, right on Gloucester's waterfront, where we unload the boats, and we put it in our tanker truck. We drive it over here. We pump it into our tanks over here, and here is where we um, make all our specialty fertilizer, add the seaweed, add the humate, whatever ingredients, you know, mixing tanks. And then we have our bottling line. We have 2 bottling machines. We bag all the dry products here. So all the production is done at the other building, and all the bottling and, you know, specialty products are made here. And all the trucks come here to load, which is a lot easier. It's an industrial park here. So it's a lot easier to get the trucks in and out. And you showed the picture. We have 7 loading bays, where the other building we were just busting at the seams. People, the drivers really hated it. So this is a great facility. It used to be a big, huge freezer, and we just unplugged the freezer. The racks were already in there for all the frozen food that they stored here. So it was perfect to store our drums and totes and all our pallets of bottled product. So this has been a real great purchase for us. You know, we just keep expanding because the products work so well. We're just a growing company all the time. We're doing better and we're expanding, which is great. Keeping everybody
that is
employed.
that is great. It also allows your family members to get into more senior positions and you know,
Yep,
maybe one day you'll be in more than one state as a production facility. You know,
maybe we've got we're working on our 5th generation. My sister's grandson works here now, so we're on our 5th generation
that's
family
awesome.
member working here.
Yeah, that's cool. You know, they're dedicated. You know, they're to the company, and they're not just milking the clock. You know, they're there to make it grow, and
Yeah,
that's awesome. You know, you can't necessarily get that from the guy off the street that you hire. You know, sometimes,
yeah.
but not always.
When I was coming up with the company when I was younger, I'd ask for a raise. They'd say, "Sell more fertilizer. You want a raise? Sell more fertilizer." So, yeah, that's what we say.
Show the banner here from the ocean. Products from the ocean to set your plants in motion.
That
I like that.
was one of my brilliant ideas I came up with in the shower one day. I get all my best ideas in the shower when I'm scrubbing my brain.
I like this one too. Like the artwork. I don't know. You guys' artwork like grabs me for some reason. It's I don't know if it's the colors, I don't know, but it grabs me. I like it.
Thanks.
Um,
I did the original sketch on the original sketch of King Neptune.
oh yeah,
I drew that. That was my original drawing. I was actually an art major in college.
right there.
I,
Yeah, that's
I
pretty
had a
awesome.
fish rack in the fork, and they didn't like that, so they took it out. But
Oh, you had a fish on the like the center fork.
yeah,
Oh, that would have been awesome.
yeah. No, they made me take it out. They didn't like it.
Oh my gosh. Come on. You got all the fruit down there. You got to have the fish.
I thought it was great. One guy from Georgia came up to me at a trade show one time. He goes, "Hey, why you got Jesus with the devil stick on your label?"
Oh, that must have been an interesting conversation.
Oh yeah.
Um, yeah, it's a great logo though.
Thanks.
The label's very easy to read. compost enhancer. Okay, so you actually add that to your compost. Oh, you can use this one for seed germination also. Soaking
Yeah.
on too.
You can get usable compost in half the time if you spray your pile regularly.
And then let's see here. What else do we have here? We have, oh yeah, this is the crab and lobster. Yeah, I can't believe that crab and lobster. This stuff right here, man. I came in the room, like I had it stored in the room for like about a week, and I had to come in the room, and then I came in the room, and it was like, boom. I was like, wow, that smells very much like the ocean, crabs and fish. I go to the ocean all the time out here, but it's different when it's concentrated like that.
A lot of people love it that like grew up on the ocean and then they moved away. They're like, I love your products. It reminds me of home. I just love the smell. Call me weird, but I love the smell.
Yeah, I like it too. It's not like a nasty fish smell. It's like a fresh ocean, like.
Yeah. I mean, it's not perfume, but it's not gross either.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I guess that's the way to say it. And then this picture, this is like what? This is this the gurry? Is that what this is?
That's fish. That's not us. I don't even know where this picture was taken. It might be Alaska for all I know. I don't know where that picture came from, but yeah, we unload fishing boats. It's haddock and cod and flounder, hake, cusk, pollock, redfish. Some dogfish, not very much, but some of that. But it's all fish that people eat. And when you fillet it, only 30 to 40% is the fillet. So back in the 80s, when we got started in the fertilizer business, there was a plant in Gloucester that took all the fishermaids and made pet food. And then like wealthier people started moving into that neighborhood and they got the fish plant shut down because of the smell. So we were forced to pay fishermen to take it back out to sea and dump it. And my dad at the time was like, we're wasting 60 to 70% of the fish. Maybe if we could find a way to use 100% of the fish and not waste it, we can keep everybody employed here. We got a lot of family members. We try to keep everyone employed, So he got together with the University of Massachusetts Marine Station, and they helped us develop the process. So I always say my dad had a lot of guts to get into the business, because we used all the money we were making in the seafood end of the business to get us started into the fertilizer business, which worked out great for us. And now, the fishing regulations have been so strict on the fishermen, even though there's a lot of fish out there, it's, a lot of corruption. But anyway, that's another story. But the fertilizer division kind of helps the fish division now. But, both are still doing pretty well.
You guys, is Atlantic salmon one of the fish, or?
We use very little salmon, but we do use some. Yeah. It's mostly a lot of cod and haddock and pollock, redfish. All fish that people eat.
Yeah. It's like what man has done for thousands of years, right? We use the fish, used to bury the fish and the plant. Yeah.
All the old Italian fishermen in town always had the best tomatoes because they knew that trick,
So let me see if I can bring up these schedules real quick and talk about that. Just a second here. I have the PowerPoint too, but it really didn't go over that. I guess.
Yeah, I think we touched on everything in the PowerPoint already.
I think so. Yeah. I have that, but let's see. There's one. Oh, lawn starter. We didn't talk about that. It's not really related, but people do have lawns. I guess they foliar spray that stuff, right?
It's a 2-3-2, so it's our most balanced product. A lot of people like to see a 2-2-2 or a 3-3-3, so that's our most balanced. And I guarantee you, we sell it to a lot of cannabis growers that use it. It was designed mostly to keep lawns green, but it works on everything also.
Yeah. Where did this go? Second here. There it is. Yep, the soil one. Okay, so we'll go over the soil one first. if people can kind of see that. I guess it may not, I don't know how legible it is, but basically in the veg cycle, 10-week cycle, it says all seaweed can be foliar fed to help with powder mildew. That's another thing too, is like big in the cannabis industry is powdered mildew. It's kind of like cancer of weed, how we see it. It's like, I mean, there's also a debate on that. Like for a long time, people said powdered mildew was systemic, and then there's another group out there that says it's not systemic. Yeah.
I can tell you one thing: you spray that liquid seaweed on that, it'll wipe out your powdery mildew. Like by the next day, you'll see an immense improvement, and by your second application, you won't see any. It's really amazing.
So let's see here. It says, so week 1, plant 1/2 ounce per gallon of water, straight liquid seaweed. I think I want to publish this thing somewhere, or make it into a chart.
Yeah.
Week 2, 1/2 ounce per gallon. Fish 1/2 ounce per gallon tomato. So they're using you're using both products then, right? You're using the fish product, and you're using the tomato and veg together.
Like a midweek feeding. You can mix them together and do it once a week, or you can do like on Saturday the fish seaweed blend, and on Wednesday the tomato and veg. Kind of every 3 days, cycle them through. I believe this is on our website on the frequently asked questions. There's a FAQ link on the very top of our website, and I think that feeding schedule's there. Also, we have a YouTube page, and all our videos, the PowerPoint, everything's on the YouTube page. And if you follow us on Facebook or Instagram, we do weekly posts with, we call it our Friday Timely Tips, and we give you tips on that. I even think we're on TikTok now, so yeah.
And then the hydroponic, so it's pretty much just 1/2 ounce per gallon. It's pretty simple there. This other one is the hydroponic. Where did it go? Oh god dang, it disappeared off my screen.
So the thing with the hydro is you got to use a lot less so it doesn't smell, but you do it as a constant feed. So it's getting all the nutrients it needs, but instead of once a week or every 3 days, it's a constant feed with a lot less.
Yeah, 5 mils per gallon of fish and seaweed, it says, for veg, week 1, and then weeks 2 to 3, 5 mils of fish and seaweed and tomato and veg. So it'd be 5, 5, and 5 then, right? So 15 total. The fish and seaweed and 5 of tomato and veg, so 10 mils is what you're adding to, or per gallon.
Yeah, this all these charts were done by professional growers that use our product and love it. I'm like, would you do me a favor and write down what you're doing, because you're raving about the results, and this is, you guys are the professionals. And so, I've got some grower friends that I've made, they're customers that I've made friends with over the years, just because they love our products and we talk on the phone a lot. And I've even had some of the growers fly out to trade shows with me. There's a guy up in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and he raved about our products, loved them, did some feeding schedules for us, showed me his results, his pictures. So I'm like, would you come to a couple trade shows with me? Because I could talk all about the products, but you're a professional cannabis grower. You can talk to the growers, in that aspect, and I can tell them all about the products. And we made a great team, and we became fast friends, and we're still to this day very good friends. He's come out and stayed at my house, and so, that's how we learn as we go, right?
Yeah, we got quite a few people in the chat right now that are that actually use the product.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's got Fall Dog says he uses your lobster crab for his calcium. You have another guy here says he uses the fish. Vermont, he says great products. He uses them. What's this? Marine line? You have a marine line? What? I'm not sure what he's talking about here. Oh, mainline then with milk and what? Yeah, he might be talking about labs. Lactobacteria acid. That's another thing that gets used. people make for foliar spraying for powdered mildew.
Mm.
It's a whole other subject. Yeah, with cannabis, there's all these different rabbit holes you can go down. I mean, plants, you can use all kinds of different stuff, you know. But you know, just you are what you eat, though. You are what you smoke, apparently, too.
I always tell people, whether you know what you're doing or not, we're gonna make you look good.
Yeah, but yeah, it's good stuff. Been wanting to talk to you for a long time, and it's good to finally get to do this and go over the products. But yeah, it's cool. It's very simple. You know, they don't actually need everything there. I guess you just need what they see right there. I mean, you don't need the liquid humates, but they'll make a big difference.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, for years before we had the tomato, veg, rose, and flowering, people would use the crab and lobster and the kelp meal before they plant, and then they'd use the fish and seaweed, and they'd have great results. So, you know, we're fine-tuned and tweaked over the years, and you know, try to make it easy for people. A lot of people use molasses and humate and want a little more calcium and, you know, some microbes. So we've kind of put these products that everybody likes all in one to just make it easier by, you know, listening to our customers. This is what they want. And when we develop products that help them, but you could just use fish or fish and seaweed and still grow an amazing garden. You can make it as simple as you want.
Have you seen any or had any feedback from people that grow in cocoa versus like peat moss or?
Yeah, people
sometimes
grow in all
cocoa.
sorts of stuff. I don't think it matters that much what you're growing in. You're going to see great results with our products. So
yeah, there's probably plenty of calcium in it, because that's one of the arguments with cocoa is that you can sometimes see like calcium deficiencies or magnesium deficiencies. And for a long time, the industry was just overfeeding CalMag. Every issue, everybody would come up, oh, it's a CalMag. It's not necessarily CalMag. It might have been they needed magnesium or they needed calcium, but you know. And then the LED lights, that's another thing. Like there's been a transition over the last several years from HID lights, like metal halides and high pressure sodiums, and a switch over to the LEDs. And another thing with the LEDs, I don't know why, but for some reason, a lot of people will see a deficiency around week 5 of bloom if they don't load up, if they don't have sufficient calcium and magnesium in their medium. And so a lot of times they'll have to do, you know, corrections by using, you know, bottled CalMag.
And another thing is there's nutrients that have to go through a process with the soil to become chelated so the plant can absorb it and use it. The fish and the natural organic stuff that we have from the ocean is already chelated.
Yeah.
It's just so that's a big difference, right?
Ready to go right out the bottle.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. Is there anything else you want to tell everybody, or? No,
unless anybody in the chat has questions, I could answer questions. Otherwise, I think you know, they can email me too. My name, Ann, ANN, at neptunesharvest.com. Or if you go to our website and you leave a comment, that'll come right to my inbox. So I can answer questions anybody has that way too.
Yeah, if anybody in chat has any questions, go ahead and type them now. We'll wait a couple minutes and see if there's anything comes up. I'm sure more people are going to watch the replay than that have been watching live, but it's, you know, because on the West Coast it's only 2:24 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are still at work, at their day jobs.
We also have an 800 number on our website. People can call us. We're more than happy. We're here Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 East Coast time. More than happy to talk on the phone to people. Our YouTube page has a lot of good videos, so you can learn a lot from that, I'm sure.
Yeah, I have the phone number just scrolling down at the bottom, but if you guys just want to know, for some reason can't see it, it's 1-800-259-4769. You'll get somebody with the awesome accent answering the phone. I love that accent. I have a one of my good friends. He's from there, and I talk all the time. And it's I tease him on some of the words when he says like car and window and. I'm like, how'd that happen? You guys were one of the first states. Why did you guys talk like that?
Good question. And Gloucester has its own little language of its own too. It's kind of funny. I don't know why.
Is that more north or like closer to Maine or?
Yeah, we're north of Boston. It's an island. It's connected by 2 bridges and a railroad bridge. So 3 bridges if you count the railroad bridge. But it is an island, and it's like the other Cape. So Cape Cod comes out south of Boston, and then Cape Ann, which is where Gloucester is, comes north of Boston. So we can get to New Hampshire in probably a half an hour, and then Maine's right up next to that.
That's pretty cool.
I went to Portland last weekend. Portland, saw Billy Strings a couple days. That was about an hour and 45-minute drive.
Yeah, you seem to go to a lot of music events.
I do.
Which is I'm pretty jealous of that.
Last 3 weekends in a row, I went away for music.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Yeah, you said Jazz Fest, one of them. I'm like, man, I haven't been to I'm originally from New Orleans, so my mom used to take me to jazz. She used to take me to jazz festival every year. You know, just drag me as a kid, but I didn't really appreciate it because I was a kid. You know, it's like, yeah, that'd be fun to go to.
I went to a 4-day bluegrass festival, and then I went to a kind of a rock festival, and then Billy Strings is amazing. If you haven't checked him out, do that.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, I think I don't know. I think chat's sleeping.
Okay, no problem. Cool.
But maybe in the future, 6 months, year from now, we can do this again and talk about the different results that people have had and show. And I'll have some pictures of some stuff to show from that we've grown with your product out here on the West Coast, and kind of pick up from there. All right. Well, I guess
thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, and you have a good day.
You too. Appreciate it. Take care.
All right.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Cheers. Enjoy in this.